All right, so you're gearing up for a construction painter interview.
That's awesome.
We're diving deep into RoleCatcher's resources to make sure you totally ace it.
It's really about giving you that extra edge.
Think of this deep dive as your secret weapon.
Like a cheat sheet tailored just for you.
Pulling out those key details about the job, the skills you need.
And even how RoleCatcher's AI can give you that personalized advantage.
Yeah.
When we think about construction painters, we often overlook just how much depth there is to this role.
Right.
It's not just about slapping on some color. These folks work on all sorts of structures.
Inside, outside.
Exactly.
Right.
And they use a whole range of paints and techniques, from brushing and rolling to spraying.
Right.
It's all about achieving those perfect decorative or protective finishes.
That's pretty cool.
It is.
So when you think about it,
Mhm.
what kind of painting projects are you really drawn to?
That's a great question to ask yourself.
Because it can really help you tailor your answers during the interview.
Absolutely.
Like if you're more into detailed work or large-scale projects,
Right.
it shows you've really thought about where you fit in.
And it's also crucial to be aware of the work environment.
Yeah, for sure.
The guide emphasizes safety big time.
Yeah, you're working with
You'll be dealing with dust fumes.
heights,
Exactly.
maybe tight spaces,
So think respirators, harnesses, all that safety gear.
the whole 9 yards.
It's essential.
And that brings up an important point.
What's that?
Were you already aware of these potential hazards?
It's something to consider when deciding if this career path is truly the right fit.
Absolutely.
Because it's not all about the creative side.
Right.
There's a lot of practical considerations as well.
Safety being a major one.
Exactly.
Okay, so speaking of the bigger picture,
Yeah, let's talk about your goals.
where do you envision yourself in 5 years?
RoleCatcher's Guide is great for this.
Oh, how so?
Well, they actually break down potential career paths with real-world examples.
Like what?
So you could specialize in a particular type of painting.
Okay.
You could move into a management role.
I see.
Or even start your own business.
That's amazing.
It helps you visualize those possibilities.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's dive into some sample questions.
Okay, let's do it.
From RoleCatcher's interview guide.
All right.
We'll focus on how to answer them strategically
Sounds good.
and even throw in some potential follow-up questions you might get.
All righty.
First up,
Hit me.
what experience do you have in the construction painting industry?
Ah, the classic experience question.
Yeah, even if you're just starting out,
Right.
don't underestimate any related experience you might have.
It's all valuable.
Like apprenticeships, personal projects,
Absolutely.
even if you helped a friend paint their house.
It all shows a foundation and passion for the work.
So true.
It's about demonstrating that interest.
And instead of just listing those experiences,
Right.
think about specific techniques you've used,
Yeah.
challenges you've overcome, types of paint you're comfortable with.
That's what makes you stand out.
That level of detail can really set you apart.
For sure.
And they might even follow up with something like,
Uh-huh.
tell me about a time you had to match a specific color.
Okay.
What was your process?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, it tests your attention to detail.
Absolutely.
All right, next question.
Bring it on.
Can you describe a time when you had to troubleshoot a painting issue?
Ooh, problem-solving skills alert.
Yeah, think back to a situation where you had to get creative.
I like it.
Maybe the paint wasn't adhering properly,
Happens all the time.
or you had a tricky color match.
Yeah. Or you had to work around some unexpected obstacle.
How did you approach the problem?
Right. What steps did you take?
And what was the outcome?
It's all about showing how you think on your feet.
Exactly. Because interviewers,
Yeah.
they're looking for someone who can think critically
Mm-hmm.
and adapt to those unexpected challenges.
For sure.
And they might even ask you,
Yeah.
what did you learn from that experience?
Ooh, that's a good follow-up.
Yeah, because it shows your willingness to learn and grow.
Absolutely.
Okay, this next one is super important,
Okay, let's hear it.
especially in a field like construction.
I bet.
How do you ensure safety on a construction site while painting?
Safety first.
Always.
Right.
This is your chance to show them you take safety seriously.
For yourself and for others.
Exactly.
So talk about specific gear,
Like respirators.
harnesses, eye protection.
Yeah.
The whole shebang.
And any procedures you're familiar with.
Right.
Like proper ventilation handling, hazardous materials.
all those important protocols.
Don't just mention them in passing, though.
Yeah.
Really showcase your knowledge.
Show them, your stuff.
For example, you could say,
Give me an example.
when working at heights, I always double-check my harness and safety lines.
That's a good one.
I also make sure I understand the fall protection plan for the specific site. It shows you're proactive about safety.
Absolutely.
And be prepared for follow-up questions. Like,
Okay.
what would you do if you noticed a coworker wasn't following safety protocols?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
It's about showing you can be a leader in safety.
For sure.
Okay, now let's talk about paint.
All right, bring on the paint talk.
The next question is,
Okay.
what experience do you have with different types of paint and coatings?
The paint and coatings rundown.
Yeah, the more the merrier here.
That's right.
It's your opportunity to showcase your versatility.
I like it.
So don't just list the types,
Okay.
like latex, oil-based, epoxy.
Right.
Explain what makes them unique.
Yeah, give them some details.
For instance, you could say,
Like what?
I found that epoxy coatings are incredibly durable
Mm-hmm.
and great for high-traffic areas like floors.
That's a good example.
It shows you really understand the nuances of each type.
Absolutely.
And they might even test your knowledge further
Oh, how so?
with something like, have you ever worked with specialized coatings, such as fire-retardant paint?
Oh, yeah.
If so, tell me about that experience.
That's getting into the specifics.
Exactly.
All right, what's next?
Now, this next one can be a bit tricky.
Oh, I'm intrigued.
Can you describe a time when you had to work with a difficult client?
Ooh, we've all been there.
Right.
Yeah.
The key here is to demonstrate your professionalism
Okay.
and conflict resolution skills.
Right.
So choose a situation where you successfully addressed a client's concerns.
Got it.
Maybe they weren't happy with the color or the finish.
It happens.
And focus on how you listened to their feedback,
Mm-hmm.
communicated clearly,
Right.
and ultimately found a solution that satisfied everyone involved.
It's about finding that win-win.
Exactly.
And they might dig a little deeper.
Like how?
They might ask, what did you learn from that experience, and how would you handle a similar situation differently in the future?
Oh, that's a good one.
It shows you're always learning and growing.
Okay, last question for this part.
All right, hit me.
How do you stay up to date with new paint and techniques and materials?
Ooh, keeping those skills sharp.
This is all about showing your commitment to continuous learning.
You're always evolving.
Exactly.
So what are some ways to stay current?
Think about industry publications,
Okay.
online forums, workshops,
Mm-hmm.
or even just talking to other professionals.
Right, those connections are valuable.
You want to demonstrate that you're passionate about staying ahead of the curve.
Absolutely.
For example, you could say,
Okay.
I recently attended a trade show where I learned about a new type of low VOC paint that's better for the environment.
That's a great example.
It shows you're aware of industry trends and committed to sustainability.
Awesome.
Now, before we move on,
Yeah?
let's briefly touch on how RoleCatcher's AI can give you an extra edge.
Oh, yeah. Their AI is amazing.
It's like having a personal career coach in your pocket.
I love that analogy.
It can analyze job descriptions to help you tailor your resume and cover letter,
So helpful.
highlighting those specific skills and experience employers are looking for.
It's like having a secret weapon.
And it can even give you personalized feedback on your practice interview answers.
No way.
It's like having a mock interview with an expert.
But on your own time and at your own pace.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Imagine the confidence boost going into an interview knowing you've got AI on your side.
That's game-changing.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it for part one.
We covered some great stuff.
We've covered some of the most common construction painter interview questions
And how to really nail those answers.
and how to approach them strategically.
I'm excited for part 2.
Stay tuned for more insights and inspiration.
I can't wait. Welcome back to our deep dive
We're back.
into construction painter interview prep.
Part 2.
We're on a roll.
Yeah, let's keep this momentum going.
In this part,
Okay.
we're going to shift gears a bit.
Oh, I like where this is going.
We've tackled those common interview questions,
Right.
but now let's layer in some career insights from RoleCatcher's Guide.
I'm all ears.
Okay, so they actually break down the typical career stages.
For a construction painter.
Yes, for a construction painter.
Okay.
It's like a roadmap
Oh.
showing you the potential progression.
Like entry level to seasoned pro.
Exactly.
That's super helpful.
Yeah, it gives you a sense of where you can go.
But how does understanding these career stages actually help me in the interview?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
It's all about framing your answers
Okay.
to show that you're not just looking for a job.
Right.
You're looking for a career in this field.
I see where you're going with this.
You got it.
So if I'm at entry level, I could highlight my eagerness to learn and grow into those higher level roles.
Exactly.
You know?
You can emphasize your willingness to put in the work and climb that ladder.
And if I have some experience, I could showcase my leadership potential.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Or your vision for mentoring others.
I like that.
It's about painting a picture of your future self within the company.
So it's not just about where I am now.
Right.
It's about where I see myself going.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's put this into practice.
All right, let's do it.
Let's revisit that question about troubleshooting a painting issue.
Okay, good one.
So if you're aiming for a senior role,
Yeah,
you could use this opportunity to showcase your expertise.
I like it.
Instead of just describing a simple fix, you could talk about a complex problem you solved
Right.
that required thinking outside the box.
That shows you can handle those tough situations.
Yeah, and if you're entry level, you could frame your response as a learning experience.
I like that.
Talk about a time you faced a challenge, maybe even made a mistake,
Happens to the best of us.
right? But then sought guidance from a senior painter and learned a valuable lesson.
That shows humility and a willingness to learn from others.
Okay, now let's revisit the question about safety.
Okay, safety is crucial.
How can we tie that to career progression?
Well, safety is obviously crucial at every level. But as you gain experience, you also gain a deeper understanding of the risks involved.
So an entry-level candidate might focus on following procedures
Right.
and using protective gear,
Right. The basics.
while a more seasoned painter
Yeah,
might talk about anticipating potential hazards,
that's a good one.
implementing safety protocols for their team,
Absolutely.
and even proactively suggesting improvements to the overall safety culture.
That's taking it to the next level.
It shows a higher level of responsibility
Right.
and a proactive approach to safety, which is key for leadership roles.
Exactly.
Okay, let's shift to the question about different types of paint and coatings.
Okay. Paint talk.
How can understanding career stages enhance my answer here?
Well, as you progress in your career, you're likely to encounter a wider variety of paints and coatings,
Makes sense.
especially if you specialize in a particular area.
So if I'm aiming for a senior role, I could talk about my expertise in specialized coatings, like those used for industrial applications or historical restoration.
That's a great example.
It showcases your depth of knowledge and your ability to handle those niche projects.
Absolutely.
And even if I'm just starting out, I can still show my enthusiasm for learning about different materials and techniques.
For sure.
I could mention a specific type of paint I'm eager to learn more about, or a project I'd love to work on that involves a particular coating.
That shows you're eager to expand your skill set.
Okay, let's move on to the question about quality control.
Okay, quality control is key.
How does career progression come into play here?
Well, as you gain experience, your understanding of quality standards evolves.
So an entry-level painter might focus on ensuring their own work meets the basic requirements,
Right, gotta get the fundamentals down.
while a more senior painter might talk about setting quality standards for the entire team,
That's leadership.
conducting inspections, and ensuring consistency across the project.
It's about taking ownership of the overall quality.
It's about demonstrating that you're not just following orders,
Right.
you're actively shaping the quality of the work.
You're invested in the outcome.
Okay, next up is the time management question.
Time management is crucial in any job.
How can we tie that into career progression?
Well, as you move up the ladder, you're likely to be juggling more responsibilities and tighter deadlines.
So a senior painter might talk about their strategies for delegating tasks effectively,
That's a good one.
prioritizing projects,
Yeah.
and anticipating potential delays.
Being proactive is key.
They could even mention using project management software or other tools to keep everything on track.
That shows you're organized and efficient.
It's about showcasing your ability to handle the pressure of managing multiple projects simultaneously,
Right.
while still meeting deadlines and maintaining quality.
It's a balancing act.
Now let's revisit the question about working with other professionals.
Okay, collaboration is key.
How can understanding career stages help me stand out here?
As you gain experience, you'll likely collaborate with a wider range of professionals,
Like who?
from architects and engineers to project managers and clients.
Wow, that's a lot of people.
It's a team effort.
So a senior painter might talk about their experience leading collaborative meetings,
That's a good word.
resolving conflicts between different trades,
It happens.
and communicating effectively with all stakeholders.
That's essential for success.
They might even mention their ability to anticipate potential challenges and proactively find solutions to keep the project running smoothly.
That's what sets you apart.
It showcases your communication and leadership skills, which are essential for senior roles.
Absolutely.
Now, how about the question about surface preparation?
Surface prep is so important.
How does career progression influence my response?
Well, as you gain experience, your understanding of surface preparation becomes more nuanced.
An entry-level painter might focus on mastering the basic techniques and following instructions,
Right. Got to get the fundamentals down.
while a more senior painter might discuss their ability to assess the specific needs of each surface.
That's key.
Choose the most appropriate methods and troubleshoot unexpected problems.
It's about having that expertise.
They can even highlight their knowledge of specialized primers or treatments for those challenging surfaces.
That shows you're a problem solver.
Okay, let's tackle the question about working with difficult clients.
Oh, the dreaded difficult client.
How can understanding career stages help me craft a compelling answer?
Well, as you gain experience, you're bound to encounter a wider range of client personalities and demands.
I can imagine.
A senior painter might talk about their strategies for building rapport with challenging clients.
Okay.
Actively listening to their concerns and finding solutions that meet their needs while staying within the project scope.
It's a delicate balance.
They could even mention their ability to remain calm and professional in difficult situations and turning a negative experience into a positive one.
That takes skill.
It showcases your interpersonal skills and your ability to handle conflict effectively.
And finally, let's revisit the question about staying up to date with new techniques and materials.
Okay, staying current is essential.
How can career progression enhance my response?
As you progress, you're likely to be more involved in professional development and keeping up with industry advancements.
So a senior painter might talk about attending industry conferences,
That's a good one.
participating in training workshops,
Yeah.
or even contributing to research and development efforts.
That's impressive.
They could even mention mentoring junior painters and showing their knowledge of the latest techniques and materials.
That's a great way to give back.
It demonstrates a commitment to continuous learning and elevating the standards of the profession.
So you see, by weaving in your understanding of career stages,
Yeah.
you can turn those standard interview questions into opportunities
Okay.
to showcase your growth potential and long-term vision.
It's about showing them you're not just looking for a job.
Right.
You're looking to build a career with them.
Exactly.
Now, before we move on to part 3,
Yeah.
let's circle back to RoleCatcher's AI for a moment.
Oh, yeah. Their AI is a game changer.
We talked about how it can help tailor your resume and cover letter. But what about those tricky interview questions?
Well, the AI can actually analyze specific job descriptions
Oh, wow.
and provide personalized feedback on your practice answers.
That's incredible.
It's like having a virtual coach
Yeah.
who knows exactly what that particular employer is looking for.
So it's not just generic advice.
Right.
It's tailored to the specific role I'm applying for.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
It helps you refine your answers and make sure
Yeah.
you're hitting all the right notes.
I love it.
Imagine the confidence boost that gives you going into the interview.
Okay, I think we've covered a lot of ground in this part.
Yeah, we've explored those career stages.
And how to weave those insights into your answers.
We've also touched on how RoleCatcher's AI can give you a personalized edge in your prep.
But don't go anywhere just yet.
Stay tuned
In part 3, we'll be sharing some final tips and tricks.
to help you truly shine in that interview.
Stay tuned for more insights and inspiration. Okay, we're back for the final part
Our last installment.
of our construction painter interview prep deep dive.
We've come a long way.
We've covered so much ground,
From understanding the job
nailing those interview questions.
to exploring how AI can give you that extra boost.
But before you walk into that interview room,
Yeah.
let's sprinkle in a few more gems from RoleCatcher's guide
A few finishing touches.
to really help you shine.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, I'm ready for those final tips and tricks.
What's first on the list? Well,
Yeah.
remember, this is a skilled trade.
Right.
Interviewers want to see your passion for the craft.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to geek out a little bit about painting techniques, tools, or even your favorite types of projects.
I think that enthusiasm is contagious.
It really is.
It shows you're genuinely interested and invested in the work.
Absolutely.
And speaking of being invested,
Yeah.
RoleCatcher's guide really stresses the importance of networking,
It's so crucial.
especially in construction.
It can be a game changer.
So connecting with other professionals, attending industry events,
All of that.
it can open doors you never even knew existed.
You never know who you'll meet.
So it's not just about what you know.
Right.
It's also about who you know.
Those connections are invaluable.
Okay, now let's talk about presentation.
Presentation matters.
It's not just what you say.
It's how you say it.
Confidence is key.
Eye contact.
Yeah.
Sit up straight.
Good posture.
Speak clearly.
And even though this is a hands-on job,
Yeah.
remember to dress professionally for the interview.
You don't have to wear a suit.
Right.
But clean, neat attire shows respect.
It shows you take it seriously.
Absolutely.
Okay, now let's talk about a common interview pitfall.
Oh, I know this one.
Rambling.
We've all been there.
It's so easy to get nervous and start rambling.
I know.
But try to keep your answers concise and to the point.
Short and sweet?
RoleCatcher actually suggests using the STAR method to structure your responses.
The STAR method classic.
Can you remind us what that stands for?
Of course. It stands for situation, task, action, and result.
Okay.
You start by describing the situation, then the task you had to complete,
Okay.
the action you took, and finally the result you achieved.
It's a great way to keep your answers focused
Yeah.
and demonstrate your problem-solving ability.
And show how you achieve results.
Exactly.
It's a great framework.
Now let's touch on those tricky behavioral questions.
Oh, yeah. The dreaded behavioral question.
You know, the ones that start with, tell me about a time when...
I know exactly what you're talking about.
These questions can be tough.
Yeah.
Because they really require you to think on your feet.
You got to be prepared.
They're designed to assess your past behavior as a predictor of your future performance.
They're looking for patterns.
So the key is to have a few stories ready to go.
Yeah. Have those examples lined up.
Situations where you demonstrated skills like teamwork, problem-solving leadership, or initiative.
Have those stories in your back pocket.
And remember, be specific, use details and examples to bring your stories to life.
Paint a picture with your words.
And don't be afraid to highlight both your successes and your failures.
It's all about showing you've learned and grown.
Learning from your mistakes is just as important as celebrating your wins.
Absolutely.
Okay, as we near the end of the interview,
Yeah?
they'll likely ask if you have any questions for them.
It's your turn to ask.
This is your chance to flip the script
I like it.
and show them you're genuinely interested in the company.
Apple's
And the
on
role-
page.
RoleCatcher suggests preparing a few thoughtful questions in advance.
That's a good idea.
For example, you could ask about the company culture,
Okay.
the team you'll be working with,
Mm-hmm.
or the specific projects you'll be involved in.
Those are all great questions.
And avoid asking questions that could easily be answered with a quick Google search.
You want to show you've done your research.
You're genuinely curious.
Absolutely.
Now, before we wrap up,
Yeah.
I have to mention RoleCatcher's Copilot AI one last time.
I'm not surprised.
It's an amazing tool,
It is
especially when it comes to tailoring your resume and cover letter.
so helpful.
It analyzes those job descriptions
Right.
to identify the keywords and skills employers are looking for,
It's like having a secret decoder ring.
and then suggests ways to incorporate them into your application materials.
Genius.
It's like having a professional resume writer in your back pocket.
And don't forget about the AI feedback on your practice interview answers.
Oh, right. It's like having a mock interview with an expert.
But on your own time and at your own pace,
So helpful
it can be a game changer.
for fine-tuning your responses and boosting your confidence.
All right, so there you have it.
We've explored the role of a construction painter,
Tackled those common interview questions,
shared expert tips from RoleCatcher,
and even highlighted the power of AI in your job search.
Remember, you've got this.
You're ready to rock that interview.
Go out there and paint your future bright.
We're cheering you on every step of the way.